Hi guys, welcome back to the Studios. I stumbled over a library that takes away a lot of boilerplate code when you're talking about detecting the device current location and even the address. It's so good in the sense that you don't need to set up any kind of runtime permission or any kind of let's say declaring start activity for results to know if the user is probably an Android lollipop and above or is lower, that you need to set up runtime or fall back to the manifest permission, or when you're trying to get the coordinates, get the Google Play to actually detect the GPS to detect what's the coordinates, the latitude and longitude of that particular device with the address. So it's quite good. They take away all that boilerplate and set this up for you correctly using RxJava. You can even implement or integrate with your bespoke application, or let's say your legacy app there that's actually using all these implementation, RxJava, Butter Knife, and so on. So I will be showing you how to get this done in a matter of minutes. So let's head straight to Android Studio, where you have our dependencies. You only need to include some dependencies which this integration relies on. It relies on the RxGPS. That's the library from GitHub where you could get that, and it's quite good. I'll be showing you on how to set this up and how to get this done. And you will be needing the RxJava, the Android, and the RxJava itself and the Android version. This RxJava 2 and above, it's not 1. So if you're actually using 1, you need to upgrade to 2 to get the full hand on this implementation. You'll be needing jQuery, Butter Knife, where you get to nullify or forget all about the find view by ID, either on click listener, find view by ID, or declare any layout, any view layout. So this is actually going to take away all that boilerplate for you. So we'll be heading straight down to the layout files. Get to see how we're going to use this particular wonderful library. Cool. Other in REST, we have the layout or the activity main. We only have one activity which we'll be talking to, and we'll be looking at how this has been set up. It's a basic linear layout with text view. Just the first text view is the current location with the value of the current location. After that, you have the current address with the value of the current address. So it's just 4 text views sitting alongside each other, where you get to see that different implementation. The first is the current location, as I've said, with the value, while the second is the address with its corresponding value. So just sitting below each other, in a linear layout, you get that stack below each other. So that's how to flow it. Let me see. We get to look at the view. It's not very important actually, but it's just going to let you see what you're doing. Okay, you have it there, current location, not available, it's the default text, while for the address, not available. So it's actually going to change that not available, change with the real value that you're passing into the text view. Head straight down to the classes. In the classes, we have the base activity and the main activity. The base activity is like the mother activity, where all activity extends from. That's what we're going to look first. It extends the app compact activity, and let's see the imports that we're really needing. We need the composite disposable and the disposable classes. So you point at that, and in the onCreate method, you instantiate the composite disposable. On destroy, you clear the disposable, and when you are adding the disposable, you will add it to the disposable class object. So you have it right there. So you could call the add disposable to add to the composite disposable. So cool. We'll be interacting with this flow in the course of looking at the main activity. Now, right there in the main activity, it's going to extend the base activity. Cool, because that's where we have the app compact activity, and we need to use the button now bind view to bind to the text view of the location and text view of the address text. The other is just a placeholder, or let's say a label, to get that showed. So we only need the not available text views to set values to it. In the onCreate method, you set the content view to activity main as usual, and you need to trigger button knife here, where you need to bind to the view this. If you're using fragments, you call the view with this as well. But if you're using activity, you just point out the this. If you're using fragment, you do that in your own create view to point the view and this to bind partner to all your implementation. Now let's get to look at the RxGPS, the library itself. You instantiate it over here and have an object of it, RxGPS. You get to call the last location and you subscribe to it. This is getting the flow of the Android of Java 8 using Lambda. And you could see some Lambda right here. This is a Lambda expression, and this is also a Lambda expression. Just calling these disposable. That's it. So it's actually going to shorten the code you write. Probably if you're using the Java 7, Java 8 and above, it's actually gets you to do away with a lot of boilerplate codes. So let's get moving. You subscribe to the disposable, and after that, because we've called the add disposable, where the add disposable is from the base activity. So we saw the method earlier. There is add disposable over here. So you are calling it from the main activity, and you subscribe to the scheduler's new thread, which is going to be observed on the Android scheduler's main thread. So because you need to speed it out to the view, you need to bind to view. That's why you need to listen on the main thread. If you're new to RxJava, I would like you to look at some of my previous videos on how we actually started, where we even talked about RxJava 1. I'm actually coming up with a full bumper package where we'll get to talk about RxJava in details. RxJava 2, we get to look at all the observables, the flowables, and how we're going to actually concatenate, do next, and do a lot of stuff when it comes to RxJava. I'll be coming up with a bumper video on that separately. But for the sake of this video, let's just get ourselves entangled with this. You observe on the main thread because you need to spit out values to the view. Anything you need to do on the view must be done on the main thread. But you could actually schedule some asyntax, some bank records, some network interaction with APIs right there in the background. So that's why we have the scheduler calling the main thread over here. Because we need to point out the location. Can you see this is so simple and smooth? We don't even need to ask for runtime permission if the users agreed on the permission or not. This is done on the fly. We don't even need to set the GPS and start to write a lot of code to know the present location and if it changes and so on. We don't need to call the Google client to actually get this done for us. You can see a lot of our boilerplate has been shared away from you to actually get your logic right. You set the text to the location, just get the latitude and also get the longitude. Cool, you have that. So it might throw some exception like RxGPS permission exception. So it's going to display the error, or might also throw the Play service is not available. That's Google Play services. You must have Google Play services on your device running, and that's why if you notice, Google Play services upload or let's say upgrade or update regularly, intermittently. It's not even going to tell you when it's going to update. So I think it's very necessary to get Google Play services updated regularly. Now let's get to look at the location. For the location, you call the flat maybe, where it's going to actually look at the geocoding method over here in RxGPS library. You subscribe to the disposal as well, and you subscribe on the scheduler's new thread, which is done on the main thread, and that's in turn speed out the text. So it's going to get the address text. This method actually try to let's say decompile and present the address in a readable format. And it's also going to throw some exception, the RxGPS permission exception or Google Play services not available exception if they are not available on the device. Now let's see the methods that's going to actually make the text readable and also display the error appropriately. When it's going to display the error, you're going to actually see a toast, make text, and the message of the error. But now if you're going to display the address text, just passing an address object, you see it's listening to an address object over here, which is the location address, and it's going to actually format the text in a readable format. Use a loop to get the address line index over here and the length, and it's going to actually get the text, get the address line based on the value of the index of the array index, and it's going to format it appropriately and return the address text, which in turn you're going to use over here to set to the view. You can see how simple it could be if you're doing this. I think I have videos on how to get the present location and even the address. You could see how lengthy it was when I was actually doing a lot of check for permissions, set up Google clients, do some back and forth when there's changes and sort. Not that it doesn't work, it does, but now look at how short it could be and how fast you could achieve this, so you could move to other tasks easily. And it's even integrated with RxJava. So if you have a legacy code that is in this flow, this will be very good. You observe and you also throw an error, you do some flowables and so on. So I will stop right there and show you this screencast of this flow, and I implore you to lay hands on it. It's quite handy and cool. I stumbled over it and I felt that it's cool to let you guys get the feel of it. Thank you very, very much for being out with me throughout this session. So short, you don't even need to set up some permissions. If you need, you could, probably in the manifest. But if you don't, it's still going to work perfectly. You have no problem with that. And I will implore you to stay by with the RX Studios. We have a lot coming up when it comes to RxJava, when it comes to MVP or MVVM. That's the model view presenter and the model view model, which is actually introduced by Google, which actually brought the Android architectural framework for you to use. I will be talking about all that. I will be even diving into coupling. Let's get our hands dirty on some new implementation right out there for Android development. Thank you one more time, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Have a pleasant time. Bye for now.